Why, hello there. I'm Sin. We're in the Book Nook, and today we are going to talk about a book that is eerie and sad and sweet and a little bit spooky. And that book is Lost Souls Meet Under a Full Moon by Mizuki Tsujimura, and it is translated by Yuki Tajima. So the premise of this book is that there is this teenage boy who's kind of mysterious, and he is what you call a go-between. And the go-between is a person that sets up meetings between the living and the dead. Now, these meetings can only happen once for both the living. The living can only ever do this once. They can choose one person. And if that one person, they have the option to say no. Now, if the person does say no, then the living person can go and request another person later on or whenever they should want to do that. And so it follows the story of just these different people who find the go-between. Some they're able to find this go-between easier than others. The journey it takes to get to them, the people they want to talk to, the reasons why they want to talk to these people. You know, a lot of them are people that they had really loved and lost, but others want to meet and talk to a celebrity who had passed away, and just the different people that these people are looking to talk to in their lives and the stories behind what happened, because you see what led up to the deaths in this as well. So you have a few different stories. You have this one girl who wants to talk to this celebrity who had died of a heart attack. And then you have this other really angry man who wants to talk to his mother because he wants to know where the deed to a part of property is. And he's such a jerk. And so, like, each story you get, I'm like, okay, one of these ghosts, who's gonna say no? Who's gonna say no? And I would be like, oh, it's gonna be this one, or oh, it's gonna be this one. And like every time I was wrong. So my guessing was not good on that. But hey, what can you do? And then there's another one where this guy had just gotten engaged to this woman, and then she like disappeared. But she had taken a lot of her stuff with her and had said she was going on a vacation, which she lied about. And then he hadn't heard hide nor hair of her, and so then he starts to wonder if she was dead. So then he puts in a request, just, you know, he doesn't really want to know the answer, but he kind of wants to know the answer, like if she's dead or if she really just disappeared and like threw away everything he thought that they had. And so all these little stories are sad and sweet and interesting, and then you also get to know who this mysterious go-between is. Is he living? Is he dead? Is he somewhere in betwixt and between? Like, how is this a thing that he is able to set up? Like, what's the history in that? Is there other people he works with that like are his higher ups? You know, like what the heck is this? And how does this all work? You know, how is the meeting between the living and the dead set up? And like, what's going on here? So it's whimsical, it's heartfelt, it's emotional, and it's a beautiful little book. It's in that vein of, I feel like there's been a lot of these books recently, like Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It kind of has that kind of deal going on, only you get more time with the deceased than you do with Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Before the Coffee Gets Cold, your coffee's cold and then your time's over, so you really only have like a very short window. This is, you have some hours to spend with them. Another one I read recently that I really liked was The Curious Kitten at the Chibaniko Kitchen, and that same kind of vibe going on, and that was also a really great book. Yeah, I guess maybe I find myself drawn to these types of books about that one last chance to talk to someone who has passed on. Like, what would you say to them? What would it mean to you? Is some of that life changing? And then if you decide not to go, like, would you regret that for the rest of your life? Or just, there's so many questions involved in this kind of a story, and I thought it was really well done. It's not super long. I think it's only actually, let me look up to see how long it is. It's about 256 pages, so not super long. And it's just a very enjoyable and sweet read. And I did like that you get into the backstory of who the go-between is, because it's nice to have that and to see how this actually works. Like, it tells you how it works and how he comes to being the go-between. And then most of the people he sets these meetings up for, like, he doesn't know them, but then he ends up setting up a meeting for someone that he actually knows. So that's a little weird and a little awkward and stuff. If you like these kind of books, kind of like that whole Before the Coffee Gets Cold vibe, I would definitely recommend this one. So Lost Souls Meet Under a Full Moon. Definitely a good read for the season, or any season in general. But if you want something a little spooky and a little out there and strange, it's a good one to read. And if you enjoyed hanging out today, hit that subscribe button, come back see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.